Hey there, Scorpio. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be for the March 25th Libra eclipse that we're having. Yes, I am putting this out like early in the month, but I also want to be able to do the eclipse in April, so I have to, because of my schedule, I have to get this done now. And so that's why we're putting it out early. But let's see here. You start off with this privileged lady card here, Scorpio, and this unexpected income card. So love it. You could be worried about finances or money here. You have the Five of Pentacles, so it's like you're thinking that you have no money, but you actually do. So I would let go of those money fears. I pretty much say this to everyone now. So like a lot of the readings have really been saying, like, let go of your fears of money. There's nothing to worry about. And really, I feel that's true. So you know, there definitely could be some money coming in for you, or you could be making more money in some way. And we're going to try to figure out how or what you're doing. But you start off with the Knight of Swords, no jumping into conclusions. Every single reading I've done so far has had the Knight of Swords. I really, again, it's a pretty friendly eclipse. You know, it's a really good energy, not very bad. So, I would say for the most part, I think it's going to be a positive eclipse. If there was one bone I had to pick with this eclipse, I would definitely say that it would be jumping to conclusions. It seems to me like there's a little bit of a vibe of, again, jumping to conclusions or assuming things or, what, I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like there is maybe a little bit of an in-your-face type of energy where, it's like you ever have a person who just like freaks out and like rushes into your life and like says something really fast and, it's like some sort of concern or worry or whatever. And then you find out it's not true later and they made you all worried about it. That's what I would be worried about. That's what I would avoid during this eclipse, right? There's nothing to worry about. I think that if a person comes into your life and they're like, oh my God, the sky is falling, you might want to just get some clarity on that. You might want to go directly to the source because, again, there just seems to be this energy of like, kind of a person rushing into your life, worrying about something that just isn't true or you just don't need to worry about. You have the Seven of Swords as your crossing energy. This can be what hurts you or helps you in a Celtic cross. And the Seven of Swords says that there are many ways to do anything that you want to do. It's kind of funny because someone said, someone asked me a while ago, like, what's the most common card that you, like, the most common, like, collective energy you see right now? And I said Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords can be lying, cheating, stealing, but really it's a good card. It's a card of tactics. He's stealing those swords from this army in the background here so that they can't be used against them in battle. So I would say as a crossing energy, Seven of Swords says there are a lot of ways to do anything that you want to do in your life. Whatever, right? And it just says, just stay flexible and stay open to all the ways that there are to do something. And if you're finding yourself being stuck, like in work and business or whatever, then you might just need to try something else. And I think people who are flexible at this time are going to be very successful. Sorry, I didn't even show you these cards. You have the unexpected income card and this privileged lady card. It doesn't matter what gender you are. I feel like that you could be, raising your income or making more money, and that could be having you feel very privileged over this, next 6 months or so. Again, eclipses. The eclipse season is basically, from now until September. So, again, I would say that, and sometimes longer. I always tell people just because we move past an energy, like you're supposed to, astrology, this is how it works. You're supposed to learn something from the energy and then you continue using it. You don't stop using what you learned, right? So, it could last for a lot longer. But in the area of your thoughts, you have the Five of Pentacles. Clearly, this isn't true. Clearly, you are worried about money or you're worried that about something. And I would release those worries. Five of Pentacles says, do not call attention to your weaknesses. Five of Pentacles wants you to focus on your strengths. It says if you double down on the things that you're good at, then you will create many more times the amount of success that you have right now. So I feel like there are a lot of reasons why something is going to work, and there might be a lot of reasons why something isn't going to work in your life. But I think if you could just focus a little bit more on the reasons why something can work, then of course it will work. Also, clearly you have attracted some sort of financial turnaround in your life. We go Wheel of Fortune, which is a change in your fortunes, to the Magician, and the Magician says you have like manifested a financial turnaround or improvements in your finances. You have the Page of Wands. Page of Wands is about going on an adventure and, being enthusiastic. I again, I think it's an amazing time for you specifically, Scorpio, to go on an adventure. I literally, at the beginning of the year, I did a yearly collective with Christopher Witecki from Serious Joy, and I said that, in my head, I saw Scorpio kind of like going from one rock to another and like exploring other opportunities and other ways of doing things and other ideas, and that's exactly what I would do here. I feel like you should be exploring like new worlds, new ideas, new plans, different ways of doing things, learning to be more flexible. That's what I would do here, and I think it'll pay off big time. You have the Two of Cups in your past. Some of you could be moving past a relationship, or you could be finally closing out the cycle, or whatever you want to call it. So definitely, the past position is what you're moving past. This could also be just you kind of ending some sort of journey. You have this card that says a long journey brings rewards. I love that card. But the Two of Cups can be you and your higher self. I always say that the Two of Cups can be you communicating with your higher self. So again, you could be ending some sort of situation. I also feel this could be something new though, because you have this card that says, let your intentions be known. I'm pretty sure in your last reading, I said that you need to flirt. I've been saying this to you for a while, Scorpio. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's you. And so again, I feel like if you're interested in a person, or like, especially if it's like a person you work with, I don't know. I feel like there's something about work here, like you do the same work, or something like that. I'm pretty sure I said exactly the same thing in your last reading as well. So if I did, then it's definitely true. And, again, I feel like there needs to be some sort of communication. This card literally says you have to let your intentions be known. Even if you don't want love, sometimes I think we have to tell the universe, like, hey, this is what I want. You have to tell the universe that you're working towards something. And you have this card that says a long journey brings rewards. I definitely feel you have been on a long journey. I think you've been on a little bit of a roller coaster, and you've experienced a lot of things, and now you're kind of getting to this place where you're getting rewards. Next, in the area of the very near future, like right now, you have this Wheel of Fortune. Definitely changing your fortunes. If you're worried about money, I would not even worry about it at all. I wouldn't even give any energy to that. Again, Five of Pentacles says do not call attention to your weaknesses. I always say Five of Pentacles, it has, to me, the fives in the tarot have very easy solutions. And if you focus on your strengths with the Five of Pentacles, then you solve the problem. And the Wheel of Fortune also has a lot of solutions. I always say I love the Wheel of Fortune. I think that some people think it's a lot better than it actually is. So the Wheel of Fortune is a change in your fortunes, but the Wheel of Fortune is something that's always happening in our lives. But most people don't control the wheel. They just allow the wheel to spin whatever direction it wants, and they don't do anything to change it. So I always say with the Wheel of Fortune that we need to double down on the good stuff, and when challenges pop up, we need to take care of those challenges right away. The trick with the Wheel of Fortune is to not ignore the challenges when they pop up. Most people ignore their challenges, and when you do that, then they turn into bigger challenges, which is never a good idea. So I would pay attention here with the Wheel of Fortune. You also have this mistakes card and this past card. You could be dealing with a past mistake, but this says mistakes will be made, but you'll learn from them. Bridge the gaps between the expectations and reality. If this is a person as well where you feel like a past person was a mistake, I think that, again, maybe you had certain expectations of that person, and, we shouldn't live with expectations, even though that's impossible. Like, a lot of people say that, like, don't have expectations, but we all have expectations, right? We all expect things to go a certain way. So I think it's like impossible. I think it's more, when we do have expectations, we should say to ourselves, is this an expectation, or is this something that can actually happen, or what? We need to be more honest about it, right? You have this past card that says the past is coming back, old job, old connection. Look to the past to understand the future, a lesson or an old skill. Yeah, I think you need to look to the past for lessons. Like, I wouldn't live in the past, but I think it's perfectly fine to say, like, oh, these are the things I learned, and this is how I'm going to correct it in the future moving forward, so I don't make these mistakes again. So, that's what I feel this is saying. In the area of your next few months, you have the Magician. Love it. I feel like you're manifesting like crazy over the next few months. I also feel like you could be reinventing yourself. Definitely a reinvention year for you, Scorpio. So this Libra eclipse, it could have you thinking about things that you want to change in your life. He has a snake right here, and that snake is the Ouroboros, and the Ouroboros represents reinvention. It represents a change that you're going to be making, or represents you changing yourself in some way. He's also pointing to this card right here. I always pull the card that he's pointing to. You have this concern card. I feel like you are worried that something isn't going to happen. I feel like you are worried that that something isn't going to change in your life, but it actually is. So I feel like you need to let go of your concerns for sure. In the area of your closest relationships, you have the Two of Pentacles. I think that you need to pay attention to the difference between other people's expectations and what you want out of life. I think that if you are going to have some problems in your life, it's going to be because you do things that other people want you to do. I think that if you do things that you want to do that maybe other people don't agree with, but too bad, so sad, they should live their own freaking life, right? They need to get a hobby. Whenever, like I over the past few years, I've gotten to this point in my life where, like, when people start telling me what to do, like people in my life, I'm like, you need to get a hobby because you clearly have too much time on your hands, right? So again, you might have people who don't agree with changes that you're about to make, but again, they should go live their own life and make their own decisions. And I think that you maybe need to stick up for yourself a little bit here because, again, you might be doing things that other people don't agree with, but as I love to say, too bad, so sad. They should go live their own life and prove to you that what they want for you works, right? And so there you go. It's like a lot of the times, I think what you'll notice, Scorpio, is people who tell you what to do the most, they pretty much do nothing, right? And they're again, it's one thing if the person who's giving you advice is successful or they say, oh, go do this, and they have done it, so they're actually giving you an experience, right? But if you're getting advice from people who don't have experience in what the advice that they're giving you, wouldn't even listen to them. And I literally feel that's what the Two of Pentacles is saying. It's like saying there might be people who think they know what's best for you, but only you know what's best for you. You have the Four of Pentacles in the area of your future feelings. I would be careful of holding, I would make sure you're creating flow in your life with the Four of Pentacles. It's funny because, like, a lot of people, like, if you don't have money and you're holding on too tightly to money, then you're choking off your money, right? So I always tell people you have to create flow. We don't necessarily have to spend money to create flow either, right? We can create something. If you put something into the world, like a piece of art, or you put up a YouTube video sharing some advice or whatever it is, you're creating flow. You're getting that flow going. You can go donate your time. You can go donate your energy, right? That's another way to create flow. So we don't necessarily have to spend money. Another game that I like to play is, I like the Esther Hicks game of carrying a $100 bill in your pocket. And when you go to the store, just saying to yourself, I can buy that, I can buy that, I can buy that. You just tell the universe, like, all the things that you can buy based off the money that you do have. So, there's like a million things you can do, but I would make sure that you're, doing something to get the flow going in your life and to not, like, create that choke point of, oh, I can't spend money because I haven't had money, and so I'm going to hold on to this money, right? I think we need to kind of, like, make sure we're getting the flow going. You have the World here as your outcome. The World is an amazing outcome, of course. The World is an achievement, an accomplishment, good things happening for you. So I feel like you're feeling on top of the world at the end of the reading here. You have this be fearless, be bold, and this antelope spirit says life is speeding up. Yes, life is definitely speeding up. I don't know about anyone else, but I feel like the days are getting shorter and shorter and shorter. So, things are moving very quickly. And I feel like things are going to be speeding up for you. I definitely feel that you have to be bold and assertive. Like, there are things, the reading itself is, let your intentions be known. I think there was something else here that I said, I don't remember now, where I really feel you have to stand up for yourself, be bold, be assertive. That's where all your success is going to come from, Scorpio. And again, it's not going to be easy, but I think that you'll be grateful to yourself that you were bold and assertive, because it looks to me like you're getting something you want. You're finding success, or whatever the case may be. With the Knight of Swords and the Seven of Swords, you have the Hierophant here. I feel that you need to break free from some sort of tradition here. The Hierophant can represent tradition. Like, we're all raised with certain beliefs. We all are raised to believe certain things, or we all develop certain habits. I'm sure you can look at yourself and see habits in yourself that your parents had, or the people who raised you had. And again, I think breaking some of those things would be a good idea for you, or just seeing if other ways of doing things will work for you. With the Five of Pentacles, you have the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles can kind of represent, teamwork. It basically says teamwork makes the dream work. So anything you can do to work together with other people could be very beneficial for you. But I feel like there is a lot of success in you working with other people. With the Page of Wands, you have the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles says, is the juice worth the squeeze? Like, is what you're doing right now, is it worth it? Or is there something better that you could be doing? Are there other activities that you could be investing your time and effort and energy into? Because those other things might be much more successful for you. So I would stay open to other ways of doing things. I think that's where the success is going to come from for you. With the Two of Cups there, you have the Hangman. The Hangman can represent seeing things from a new perspective. And again, the Two of Cups is these two people are meant to look very different on the Two of Cups. So I'm getting a couple of things here. Number one, I feel like for some of you that there could be a person who provides a new perspective in your life, and I would listen to that. Again, you are fixed energy. I'm not calling you out here, Scorpio, but sometimes I think you get maybe fixed on an idea or a plan, and there might just be a person who is not fixed, like a Pisces who's mutable, and they might just see things a different way. And so, again, there might be another plan for you or a different direction you could move in life. And again, getting that new perspective could be very helpful. I also feel like you could be attracting a person who is very different than your usual type. Maybe you're attracting a person who sees life a different way or, whatever. But, I think that it could be a very good person with the Hangman. I also feel like this is saying you're ready for love. So, and this is only for those of you that have been on a break from love or have not been putting a lot of time into love or whatever. I think that for some of you, if you want love, you're ready for it. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Five of Swords. Definitely a risk that you have to take. The Five of Swords can represent separation, but, again, the Five of Swords to me is a card of conquering something or, he has won. And so it's a card of winning at all costs. But I also feel for some of you that this is really encouraging you to take a risk. Five of Swords is kind of a clue card to me. And it says that there's some sort of risk that you need to take to, put yourself out there or to, do things differently in your life or to move in new directions. And that's what I would do here is take a risk to do something. And again, I think that part of the risk could be that you're doing something that other people don't agree with. Like maybe you're quitting your job and starting a business or, getting a new job or moving with the Wheel of Fortune and the World card there. It's like you're doing something that other people are trying to talk you out of, but I would do it. With the Magician, you have the Five of Cups. You have 555 could be important for you here, and you have 33 right here as well. So 555 is a number of change, and you could be going through a big change here. The Five of Cups, says that there is something in your life that you no longer enjoy. He's crying over his loss for his taste for wine. So he has these 3 cups of spilt wine in front of him. And the story of this card is that he's lost his taste for wine. He no longer enjoys it. But he has these 2 cups behind him. And those 2 cups behind him could represent something else. So this is a card of gratitude and being grateful for what you do have. And that's how you get this bridge in this castle over here. So it's like there's something much better coming in for you. With the Two of Pentacles, you have the Six of Swords. Yeah, Six of Swords is leaving everything behind you behind. This woman and this child and this boat here on the Six of Swords, they are completely starting over. So I'm not saying that you have to completely start over in your life, but you could be moving on from things in your life that are very familiar, and you could be doing something that you are not familiar with. And, that's what I would say here. Here's the other thing that I'm getting that's popping into my head as well, is that if things are going to work, I feel like things are just going to fall into place. There's going to be there's no try-hardness about what's going on here. It's funny because, what's popping into my head is you could be getting into something long distance in love, for example. But I just heard a story from a person who got into a long distance relationship, but it just so happened that the person they were getting into a relationship with was moving fairly close to where they live. So it made it easier for them to come together. And, to me, that is basically the universe saying yes, this is what you're supposed to be doing, right? When if something just comes together. I think where we get into problems is if we get into a long distance relationship, for example, and both people are not planning on moving. Or don't have plans. Can it work out? Yes, that's not what I'm saying. But when something like that happens where the person already was moving to where that person was, that's extra confirmation, things just falling into place. And I kind of feel like the Six of Swords is saying, and I'm not saying this is love, it could be, but it could be anything in your life. If you notice you start something and things just happen, things just start moving, then I would move in those directions because I think it's, confirmation from the universe. With the Four of Pentacles, you have the Queen of Wands. You are clearly in a time where you have to be bold and assertive, and you have to really go for what you want. And that's what I feel like that's saying. With the World card, you have the Hermit. I feel like you need to get out into the world. You need to shine your light a little bit more. I feel like you need to get a little bit more attention in your life. And again, you have all these cards of needing to be bold and fearless. The Hermit is, about having been through a dark night of the soul, having been through an issue and kind of popping out the other side. So, I feel that for a lot of you need to shine your inner light. You have this target card that says a goal-oriented person. You could be attracting a goal-oriented person, but you could also have goals that you are achieving at this time. You have cards that are like very similar here. This mice card says discord among family or friends. Remember what I said about people close to you. You have this rat card that says someone working against you behind your back. And you also have this parrot that says someone will gossip about you and your secrets. I would be careful if you're getting into something new. It's like you fix signs for whatever reason. I keep getting these messages for all the fixed signs, Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, and Leo, that, there could be people, like if you start dating a person, there could be people who don't like it for whatever reason, or it could be like your ex or their ex or something. And I would make sure to protect the connection, because it seems to me like, if you're getting in something that is good enough for other people to talk about, it might be pretty damn good, right? So it probably is something that's worth protecting. And that's kind of like what I see here, is that you could be meeting a person that's like really solid and other people don't like it and are very jealous of it. So I would make sure that you're protecting it. You have this funnel that says period of frustration, lessons to be learned. So again, I think it's been a very frustrating period for you and you're like coming out of it. You have this ram card that says stubborn, aggressive person, probably the same person. Again, I would be careful. I've been getting so many messages of, people like you getting into a relationship and then like someone's ex messages you and is like, it tells you a bunch of lies about the person. I would be careful of that. You have this flag card that says, do not be tempted to lower your standards. Yes, I feel like you need to. It's like, it's a time of upgrades for you. So everything should be an upgrade, not a downgrade. You have this needle and thread. It says, a sincere wish is being granted. So love it, Scorpio. Looks really good. Definitely feel there's a change in your finances. Again, unexpected income. So it looks really good. But thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your month.